Yo, what's up guys? How is everyone doing? Guys, as usual, please let me know is the audio and video okay before I do really get into the essay and meat, I guess, of this live stream. Quick shout out to everyone who was here early. Yeah, I think that was pretty cool, and also someone mentioned that he's watching this stream on his work break, so I thought that was pretty amazing as well. I don't know if you want me to say your name. I mean, it is public anyway, but yeah, I think that is awesome. And guys, today we're going to be looking at the case for the Bulls versus the case for the Bears. All right, really, let's just go into the short sort of term, analysis here. Nothing really has changed. Yesterday when I mentioned is this pattern we're seeing in the immediate short term is, I like that, Piotr. Why? 40 watching and only 9 likes. I mean, 90 now, but guys, if you can smash those likes, that would be amazing. But, like I mentioned in the last stream, what we had was this bilateral pattern going up when the trend was already upwards. And usually what you see if you're in a bullish market is you go up and then you fight the trend and then you go up again. So obviously what we had was a bearish pattern in this case because we did go down. This is something I did mention as a possibility. But guys, really what we are looking at now, unfortunately, is we're looking at more bot trading taking place in the market again. So, like I said yesterday, we had humans returning to the market. Today, guys, the bots are taking back control of the markets, and that is not a good sign because really what we want to see is if we're getting a true market reversal, like I said, it would be slow either way what's going to happen. Whether we go to $3,000 or we go to $20,000, the start of that journey will be slow. And so what we're seeing now, what we saw yesterday was human traders returning in a more bullish sentiment. And while that bullish sentiment is still kind of there, we've got bots taking control of the market again. And so as we know, what they're going to be doing is liquidation hunting. And I've had some ideas about this. I was a little bit confused with what's going on because with longs so high like this, I would have expected it to follow the trend and get liquidated and get a bit of a long squeeze going on at the moment. But obviously that isn't the case. The longs do appear to be running towards the all-time high on Bitfinex, which would be about 39,000 contracts. Of course, it can drop anywhere here now. I mean, there's no resistance points, which in this case does not mean that it can go up to all-time high. It just means that literally any number here, it could drop. We could get a long squeeze. It's very unpredictable. Now, same for the shorts. I didn't expect it to go this low. Shorts have continued to decline. Not so much today because today has been mostly a red day, with the exception of that one blue candle we've got now, which literally just happened like 15 minutes before this stream. Very bad timing. You know what? I don't get it. It's possible we go down to the bottom of this cup. It's possible that this turns out to be a very long, drawn-out handle, and then we shoot back up. It's not a clear pattern right now. I can't figure out what this is telling me. And so my conclusion drawn from this information, the longs and the shorts, and also this weird position where bots are now back really taking control of the market, that the conclusion I'm drawing from all of this, guys, is that we have a lot of indecision in the market. We're just before a very key level, 6,800. If we break 6,800, sentiment is going to shift and flip completely for so many people. The real bullish sentiment will return, especially if we breach 68 with volume. Yet, if we get rejected by 68, then that's telling us a few things. That's telling us the triple bottom has failed because we would go down. It's telling us that the futures will not have any impact, but that's more of a theory that's been, I haven't heard it discussed in other channels or other places, so it looks like it's just me making a big deal out of it. A lot of things, all that bullish sentiment, I think if 68 does turn out to be a rejection level, it would be pretty bloody for Bitcoin. But if we do go up, I mean, we can start talking about all-time highs again. We can start talking about 7,800, 11,600, all of these very key resistance areas. So, you know what? It's a very weird market situation right now. Yesterday I said my overall stance is bearish. Today, guys, I'm down to neutral. I'm rather up to neutral. I just, this is a very hard chart to read, which is why I wanted to go over the case for the Bulls and the Bears in this video. And really just, remind you guys that at the moment, the kind of things we're looking at, of course, it looks like we've got hope here, but let's not get carried away with these emotions. We turn on our Ichimoku cloud here, and we're still in the same red cloud, which has meant that we've been rejected once, twice, What has my chart done? Once, twice, and 3 times over here, just within this downtrend. So these are the cold facts that we have to bear in mind, especially you consider that the human traders have now left the market, as it looks. It does definitely look like we could go down when we look at the Ichi cloud, and bear in mind this is a very, very important indicator to be looking at. You know, the only thing that can send us above this cloud now is, of course, another bot pump, and you know, we don't really know what's going to happen. Those are unpredictable. Like I said, we can use the longs and the shorts to gauge when that may happen, but recently they haven't been a reliable indicator. So really, this is not a zone to be trading in. I made a post about it on Telegram, I think today or yesterday. This is just not a good area to be trading in. You're taking too many risks. In fact, I opened a Crypto Mafia VIP gambling section of our VIP program just because we've had a lot of requests to do more short-term trades. I mean, oh god, I get like 30, 50 messages a day or something from people asking me, what's Bitcoin going to do now? And you know, my response is always, I don't know, because I mean, I put my thoughts out in VIP, I put my thoughts out in gold, but beyond that, I mean, there's not really much I can share because that, you know, I'm sharing everything already. So you know, if you want to do these more short-term trades, of course the impatience will catch up to you. You might make a couple profits, but overall, I mean, you are looking at being red, because trust me guys, I have done this before. I have made every single noob mistake conceivable, and it's why I've learned from all of those lessons now. It's why my TA generally plays out, my FA generally plays out, just because I've had so many harsh lessons to learn from. Bet on Colombia. What's the score now? Is it still 1-1? But yeah, you know, this case for bulls. Look, we've still got the triple bottom, and guys, the triple bottom is intact. You know, the longer we go on bouncing up from this triple bottom, the longer it looks, I mean, the more it looks like this triple bottom has succeeded in sending us bull, alright? Because we haven't breached the line, we haven't closed below that triple bottom line. And what we've got, guys, is a steady but slow, which is good, trend going upwards. We've got 4 candles pushing 5, with only one of them being a red candle. So that is a very good sign. Go ahead and close Telegram here. That is a very good sign, because we've had so many red days lately, and you know, it could definitely turn out to be yet another rising wedge. I still haven't deleted this line, which was our rising wedge resistance before that pump above 6,800, and the reason I haven't deleted it is because what we could see is a drop down to this level and it turning into a support. Now, because the human traders have left the market, that's probably not going to happen, but it's you know, it's still something I wanted to keep here as a possibility, you know, just to entertain, you know, as a what's the word, like a thinking game. I don't know the right word for that. But you know, triple bottom still intact. These futures things, we go over to our Bitfinex chart, and yet again it's the same case. I mean, directly following the SIBO closing, we've had a pump, all right, and then directly before the SIBO, my bad, after the SIBO closing we had a pump, and after the CME opening we had a pump. So really, this does line up to be a pretty clear trend. It looks like that futures theory has played out correctly. Now, what's much more important to see is how long this plays out for, whether it sticks or not. And unfortunately, that's only something we can know in hindsight. It's something we can speculate on. It's something we have speculated on. Like I said, we went long at 5,800 and closed most of it around these levels. VIP, some members in there still have their longer open, still riding this price up. You know, it's hard to say, but if this did turn out to be a reversal, then we had the perfect entry here. But you know, apart from that, we can go over the fundamentals, which of course, like I said in the last video, are stronger than ever. I was just talking to another member today who raised the possibility with me that Bitcoin could even be getting smart contracts in the future, which is absolutely huge, because that would to some extent invalidate Ethereum, and that's a pretty big deal, right? I mean, that would really Bitcoin has a lot of problems, but that's what would give Bitcoin a huge edge against the rest of the market. It's all speculative at the moment, but you know, we consider how the tech is evolving and how many eyes are on the space right now. From a fundamental aspect, Bitcoin has never been stronger, and because of that, I think no matter what happens, it is going to make a recovery. Whether or not it goes to all-time highs, I don't know, but I do think it's got a bright future ahead of it. This is so annoying, I'm sorry. Put that on silent. That's the bullish scenario, but you know, we go back to the bears, and we're still in a sustained downtrend. I mean, we go over to the one-day chart here. You know, this downtrend has started from 20,000. It's been 7 months. What's to say it's going to end now in July, a month that has historically been bearish for Bitcoin. Last year, it was one of the bloodiest months for Bitcoin. It's the only time, the first and last time I panic sold Bitcoin, sold at about $1,800 and bought back in at $4,000 about 10 days later. It was embarrassing. It was pathetic. Never making that mistake again. So, you know, it just doesn't really line up that Bitcoin would have an amazing month this year from a historical perspective. I'm personally not giving that much credit, but I have heard it from other people. One thing actually I've just realized that I've missed covering is the inverse head and shoulders that we're getting some people talking about. I did see Kirby actually starting a stream about this. I wasn't able to watch it, but I'm guessing that the inverse head and shoulders he was going to talk about was this pattern. And it would look something like this. Alright, this is on the daily chart. This is what a lot of people have been speculating on. Now, personally, guys, I don't give inverse head and shoulders patterns or even regular head and shoulders patterns much credit because they're very subjective and you can spot them everywhere. So, for example, we could have also drawn one over here, down to about this level, you know, and called this the head and the inverse head and shoulders. You know, you could have said that's the thing, and of course it's not, because the head doesn't go lower than the shoulders, but that's not the point. These things are very subjective, which is why it's not an indicator I'd like to look at. I mean, if we zoom in, we go over to the 4-hour chart, and yet again we can spot another, this is the 4-minute, my bad. We can spot another inverse head and shoulders potentially playing out over here. You know, you can draw these everywhere, and so I just don't think it's a reliable pattern to use. But I do like the concept of it. The concept being we've tested a low 3 times, each time we've been rejected, and the idea is every time we climb back up with more volume. So especially on this second time, but most importantly on the third time, when we climb back up here, the volume should be much higher than the previous climbs. Now guys, what are we seeing this time? It could play out a volume of $14.6 billion. The average volume climbing up has been very good compared to previous weeks where we've seen lows like 9 billion. That's a very good sign. It's very bullish. And so if this trend does continue, maybe we go down to say $17 billion volume, something like that, but on the final leg up, we actually go up with something like, I don't know, 20. Not gonna happen probably, but if that is the case, that is of course great. And you know, like I always stress, we need to focus on where the dominant volume is falling. At the moment, guys, on this 4 hour isn't a good chart actually. Let's go over to the 1 day for volume, and Coinbase have proven themselves to be incompetent for that as well, so we'll go over to Bitfinex for that. Switch off all these indicators, and we are looking at volume being more green than red, so the red days are definitely weaker. Now if we're looking at this triple bottom, it lines up and it makes perfect sense that we're seeing more green volume on a final bounce up to complete the triple bottom. Apart from that though, I think that is most of my TA done. I mean, we can go through all of the indicators, they still tell you the same story, so I don't really want to waste your time with that. Just one thing I want to bring up, of course, is the exponential moving average ribbon, which I really do love to use. I go by this very strongly, and we've got a very thick ribbon here. It's a very strong resistance level. And so what that could mean is Bitcoin will be getting rejected here and head down, and it has happened 1, 2, 3 times, and then within other downtrends twice. You know, it's a very reliable indicator to use, but of course it only works until it doesn't. So we could see a massive pump up to take us above the ribbon, and then suddenly the ribbon turns into support. So it really does depend on the market, and right now it looks like this ribbon isn't as reliable as it has been previously. Last times we've been hitting this ribbon, we only, you know, wicked up to the 21 EMA, and then we got rejected. But what we're seeing right now is actually trading within this ribbon, and typically that could be a sign of a reversal. The wider the ribbon, the more the resistance. Absolutely, cheeky crypto. And the reason for that is when we're in such a steep decline, this isn't very steep, but it's steep enough to get this ribbon very large. That does mean that the strength of the bears outweighs the strength of the bulls. So it is typically a very bearish sign, but it looks like we could be getting some form of a reversal, especially since we haven't been rejected by this line yet. We could trade, you know, around this area like we did previously. How long was this? Oh, that didn't work. So we were in this area for about 5 days. We've only been in this area now for 1, 2, 3, 4. Potentially, you know, tomorrow, the 5th day, we get rejected and we go down. Very possible, you know, to follow past patterns, but you know, because we're in this ribbon for so long, I'm starting, you know, that's why I said my overall stance has gone from bearish to neutral now. We are showing signs of strength. I mean, we turn on the Ichi cloud on the 4 hour, and what we're seeing is now a green cloud for the first time in so long. Let's turn this on, everything else off. And you can see where we've actually got the beginning of a green cloud. And guys, the reason for that is that we are actually pushing this red cloud. We're testing this resistance, and we haven't been rejected yet. So resistance turns support, and what we've got in the future here is a green cloud, which could work out very nicely. The more we range higher, the wider this green cloud is going to get, and the more stronger of a support level it's going to become. Where does Bitcoin need to be to end the bear market? Josh on, well, you could say that it already has ended the bear market by hitting $6,000. You could also say, you know, anywhere between $1,000 to $3,000 would end the bear market. So it really does depend on what your stance is, whether you give the triple bottom any merit, personally. But guys, apart from that, I mean, that's everything I wanted to go through. If you guys want to throw in your questions now, we can go over them. And see what's up. You know, I just wanted to share this screenshot with you. This is from one of the trades I've made, I think 2 weeks back. You know, it's just one of the screenshots, 234%. These signals do hit VIP, and if you guys are interested in it, then definitely hit me up. The link is in the description down below to my Telegram channel, and below all posts in that Telegram channel, I do leave my name, so you can click on that and contact me for VIP. I think we're up to 140 members now, so really growing quite fast, and the results do speak for themselves. That was just one example of them. Actually, what's been happening lately is I'm making a lot of signals, and I'm just not getting a chance to enter it myself, so I just have to sit back and watch other people making profits from my own signals. It's like getting cucked. It's not a good feeling, but I'm happy if the other members are making profits. What do I think about Ripple? I don't like how it's centralized, so I don't look at it. It's Chris Larsen, isn't it? Who's the CEO? I don't know. I think just basing on people talking, market sentiment is very bullish. There were a lot of good news for crypto lately too. Yeah, Salkin, definitely true. We are getting some good bullish news. It is a good sign, but typically actually what does happen is when sentiment gets so lopsided towards one direction, the market flips the other way around. I don't think that's going to carry much weight now. The atmosphere, the situation with Bitcoin has changed a little bit, so it doesn't look like it's going to flip just because market sentiment is bullish now. And so that's why I'm saying this is a hugely indecisive area, and taking positions over here is not a good idea. It's why I posted where was it? You know, very little has changed here. I wouldn't be bothered if I miss out on 5% profit. You know, let's say this goes up to 6,800 and I could have had a long in for 6,600. That's a $200 jump. You would have made very nice profits on that going long with, say, 25%, So I would have missed out on, I don't know, 10, 20% profit. But I don't really care, because I know that if I do wait for confirmation above 6,800, I can ride that all the way up to... let's pull up this VPVR indicator. I can ride that all the way up to the next resistance level, which actually in this case isn't being shown. That level is 7,800. VPVR indicator is not doing a good job of showing this to me. I think it's because of how zoomed in I am on this chart. So yeah, that's my take on it. Hello from France. Thanks for TA. What about if the market get out of this red Ichimoku cloud? Ludovic, yeah, that would be a very bullish sign if it gets out of this red Ichi cloud. Let's turn that back on. It's great because, you know, what we've seen is this Ichi cloud acting as a strong resistance, sending Bitcoin down so many times. And so if Bitcoin now defies that, we've got one extra majorly bullish factor to be aware of, which I think is a great sign. But, you know, if we switch this to the daily, we still do have a decent sized red cloud, and the daily is of course what matters the most. what we could see is, you know, trading within this cloud, just like we are now on the 4-hour, like what happened when we were at $10,000. We could see this happening with the daily. We go up into the daily chart, we trade there for a little bit, and then we get rejected. It's very, very possible. So, crossing the 4-hour would be great, but the 1-hour is the real test. So, sorry, the 1 day is the real test, and at the moment it's not looking very good for the long term. Let's say actually for the mid-term, because like I said, long-term I'm very bullish on Bitcoin. Do you look at the order book? Bernard Mark, you know what? I love looking at the order book, or rather I loved looking at the order book, but what we've got right now is way too much bot action. It is all manipulated to the nth power. So I don't like looking at the order book anymore. There is no reason to do so, in my opinion, because it's all completely manipulated, and these things will flip in 1 second. You know, it will look very bullish and then suddenly very bearish. So not a good indicator at the moment. Maybe for alt trading later on, I'm not too sure. It does look like overall the order book has become obsolete in these markets. Your bot is killing it. Awesome. I had someone else talk to me about his bot today. Huge, I mean, way better than VIP. I think it was like 30,000 profit, 30,000% since January. And he was interested in VIP, so I said, mate, you should probably just stick to your bot, because we can't give results like that. You know, 30,000%. That's, yeah, that is a lot. You know how much money Bitmain would lose if they do a 51% attack? I have no idea. I don't think Bitmain plays as big of a role as people give credit to them for. Will USA adopt a currency that China controls? Gizmo, you've got the assumption there that China controls Bitcoin. I think that's going a bit too far. I also don't think they play such a big role, you know, as big as they get credit for as well. Especially because, you know, we used to get China FUD every other day, and now it just doesn't affect the market at all. So I think they've lost some influence to an extent. And of course, no, Bitcoin would never, US would never adopt Bitcoin as its currency, ever. It's not going to happen. And nor would China, nor would any country, I think. You know, maybe some small countries that just want to, you know, gain some popularity, but apart from that, it's never going to happen. Any price prediction to short Bitcoin? I think you've missed the bulk of this video, man. I'm not doing anything with Bitcoin at the moment. Let me put the brightness up, I can't really see it. I'm not really taking any positions with Bitcoin now. I just do not think it's worth it. I don't think it's worth it. You know, the risk to reward is not good at the moment. When will bcash pass Bitcoin? Yeah, I don't know. No amount of facts or truth can convince those who choose to remain ignorant. Yeah, amen to that, Gizmo. Amen to that. Do you think that flood in China destroying mining farms will affect crypto? You mean like a water flood destroying the computer systems? I don't think so. That would be a very funny weakness. And Bitcoin is dead, fiat for the win. So you view Bitcoin as a store of value in the future, not a currency. Yeah, Gizmo, as it stands, I do view Bitcoin as a store of value, but also a transfer of value. So I commonly use Bitcoin for transactions. I love using it. It's not as convenient as using something else like a bank or stuff like that. But, well, if you use Bitcoin right, it can be as convenient. And in my case it is, but for most people it won't be. But yeah, it's lost its value as a currency. It's become more of an investment, a store of value, and I think it is going to stay that way. But it could be, you know, it still can be and is used as a currency, just a lot less because of its volatility. Question: how much influence do you think a favorable ETF announcement by the SEC will have on the price of Bitcoin? Buckaroos, a lot of people have been speculating that it is going to be huge for Bitcoin. It is going to be huge for crypto, because that means a lot of money can come in, real money, not derivatives. It would be a pretty big deal for Bitcoin, for crypto in general. But I'm just not sure something like that would end the bear market. You know, I'm not sure something like that would give us a $1,000 pump and send us to the moon and get us talking about all-time highs as if it's actually going to happen again. Yeah. I'd be, you know, I don't think we can predict what would send Bitcoin, you know, on a bull run again. The only thing that we know for sure will, you know, get Bitcoin going bull again is when it starts hitting the headlines for bullish reasons, not because it's now down 60% in 2018. That's the wrong reason for it to to be on the news networks for us. Love from Denmark. Thank you very much, Dennis. Do you accumulate crypto for the long haul? Craig, that used to be my approach, you know, accumulating things like Bitcoin and altcoins. And, of course, my goal is still to accumulate Bitcoin, but actually that's misleading. What I do is accumulate Bitcoin, but it's not my goal. My goal is to hedge, really. So when it goes down, earn more by shorting. When it goes up, earn more by longing. And so the end result is, yes, I have more Bitcoin at the end of the day. So in a way, I am accumulating more, but that's not my goal. I'm a trader, right? So as much as I love Bitcoin, I don't have a huge emotional attachment to it. You know, I'd even be willing to sell everything right now if there was a good reason to do so. What alts am I feeling? None at the moment. All alts are still at the mercy of Bitcoin, so I'm still not interested in any of them. Like I said weeks ago, the only alt I was in was Dignity, and I've now closed that position entirely at a pretty handsome profit. So, and that was only like 5% of my portfolio anyway. So I am, you know, 100% in Bitcoin, in Ethereum, in terms of crypto. So yeah, I still don't really care about alts yet. You know, they may have good projects and they may have any flashy words like decentralization on them, but I just do not care about alts until Bitcoin does show us some confirmations of going bull. Because until then, alts will just drop harder, as I always say. Buy Bitcoin now or wait? Exiled, you know, if anything, I would wait to see what happens with this 6,800 level, if we even reach 6,800, that kind of a thing. I just, you know, I don't think making any trading decisions, whether you buy or sell, is worth it in $6,000, but if, in the $6,000 range. But of course, none of this is financial advice. You know, do this at your own risk and do your own research and all that. Guys, if we can smash those likes real quick, 350 viewers. Come on, 5,000 Bitcoin. Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people who have their orders set for 6,000. Sorry, for 5,000. And I personally as well would be looking to re-enter Bitcoin if we do hit those levels. Really, I mean, I am completely neutral in this market at the moment. I just have no idea what's what's gonna happen. Did the futures market kill Bitcoin? You know what, Mike? I kind of feel like they do. I'm not, you know, I don't subscribe to conspiracy theories, but in this case, I kind of do. I do feel like the futures played a part in killing, in quotes, in speech marks, Bitcoin. Yeah, I think it was, you know, it's interesting, right? I mean, just a few days after future starts, we get this massive downtrend. Of course, we were due for one anyway, because $20,000 and the parabolic unsustainable run, of course we were due for it, but I'm still not feeling it. I still feel like there's something more. You know, we throw in Satoshi Light, I forgot his real name, Charlie Lee, founder of Litecoin, you know, the day or a few days surrounding when Litecoin hit its all-time high of $420, is when he announced that he's selling everything, and that, you know, he also said that the value of crypto can go down to zero at any time, and his timing on that call is interesting. It's interesting. So, you know, we had Vitalik Buterin, the founder and is he the CEO? I don't know, but the founder of Ethereum, calling the same thing just a few months ago, and of course we've continued to go down, and this is something I've been discussing with Kirby a little bit. You know, it just seems like these guys know something that we don't, and so when they're making these calls like crypto is dangerous, don't go all in, and they're doing it at specific times, you know, you do have to start asking some questions. So I think there is a lot of manipulation in this market. Some people don't give that theory credit, and fair enough, I respect that, but yeah, I mean, you don't have to look further than these bot movements, to be honest. Is it on Litecoin? I don't know. It doesn't look like it is on Litecoin as much. But we go over to Bitcoin on this 5-minute chart, and we definitely are going to see evidence of it. Yeah, you know, these bot patterns, again, just so typical, honestly. I mean, it's quite disgusting. But, you know, that's the reality we've got. David, how am I 16? Well, I was born about 16 years ago. Going on 17 now, very close. Yeah, no one cares about Ripple. I do agree. I mean, I don't know why there's so much talk about Ripple in these comments right now. Maybe the institutional money will flow into Ripple only. Martin, yeah, by the way, I will respond to your VIP message. I think I've got like 5 during this stream. I'll get back to all of you in just a second. Guys, if you have any last questions, then do drop them here. But other than that, I have covered everything I wanted to. Really, we haven't seen much of a development in the markets today, and so I don't have anything new to add. Just beyond the fact that we are continuing this dodgy pattern. This pattern itself, if it's all we had to go off, I would say that we are bearish, because this could be a sign of a reversal. I don't like the look of this. And I just do not feel safe trading at all in this area until we get some interaction with 6,800, or if we don't, that means we'd be going down, and I still want to see us go down. I want to see us go to levels like 6,100, which is a long way away from here, but until that happens, you know, we go below 6,100, and we know pretty firmly that we are going to be testing 58 once more, and if we test it a third time, I guarantee you we will fall below it. And so, you know, I'm going to be waiting for some sort of confirmation like that before I do make a trade, and if it means I miss out on some profits, I'm absolutely fine with that, because it's a gamble, and you know, sometimes gambles do pay off. All right, they do. I mean, there's a reason people gamble, right? You're successful some of the time, but not all the time. And I like to be successful all the time. That's my approach. We've got nearly a 100% success rate. We only had 1 failed signal in VIP last month, and that signal is something I advised you guys not to do anyway. I'll chop my dick off if Ripple is worth less than it is now in 2 years' time. Gizmo, it probably will be worth less. Sorry, worth more. But that's only because the entire crypto space will grow, and so with that, Ripple will probably grow with it. What do I think about Litecoin? It broke a descending triangle, currently in a long in Litecoin, already at 60% ROE. Very nice profits there. Congratulations on that blue bone. Litecoin is one of my favorite coins fundamentally, just because it's like Bitcoin's younger brother or whatever. And that is exactly how Charlie Lee brands it. So I do really like that. In terms of its TA, how far it can go, I mean, there's a possibility that Bitcoin goes up 5% and Litecoin goes up, you know, 7.5%. It's possible, but again, it's going to keep on following what Bitcoin does. Every single coin will keep on following what Bitcoin does, of course, with the 2 exceptions being USDT and Tether, and then a few others like Dignity, which are not pegged to crypto and instead pegged to something else like the dollar or like gold itself. What else have we got? Even the thought of investing in something connected with banks gives me the chills. Was that snore crip? Was that a intentional typo saying shills instead of chills? That's quite funny. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't. Yeah, I mean, why? You know, crypto is made to, you know, it started to hedge against the banks. You know, for people who don't like banks. So why would you then, within the crypto space, support them by getting a position in Ripple and potentially pumping it a little bit? Guys, I'm getting a lot of questions. I have been getting a lot of questions. You know, how I make these big profits, things like this. You know, up from 6,150 is that right? Sorry, down from a level like I think it was 6,700 down to 6,100. I had a 230% gain with a $500 move. The way I was able to do that, guys, was on BitMEX. It's margin trading. It's where you trade with more money than you have. It comes with much higher risks, but the rewards, as you can see, are extremely fruitful, and I don't think we've ever had a liquidation in VIP or gold. So it's incredibly profitable. If you guys do want to get in on that, the link is in the description. It's where I say BitMEX for a lifetime discount on fees. So if you guys do use my referral link, you get a 10% discount. And fees on BitMEX are ridiculous, absolutely disgusting fees. So anything does help. I think the reason for it is, you might be trading with $100 of your own, but you'd pay the fee. If you go 10x leverage, you would pay the fee for if you were trading with $1,000. So yeah, the fees are something you want to look out for, and that's the reason I always say never use market orders, because market orders do carry a larger fee than limit orders. What was my leverage, Philly? I believe it was 25. I didn't show it here, but yeah, I always go for 25. I like that level. You got 100x my respect now, bull run. Philly, I never go 100%. In my days of stupid decisions, I did try it just to scalp quick profits, and it only works until it doesn't. It brings out the gambling mentality in you, and I don't recommend it for anyone. Guys, if you guys rather have any final questions, then do drop them here. But like I said, I will be signing off now. I have gone through everything I wanted to and answered a bunch of your questions. We've got a book recommendation here. Your thoughts on Matrix AI? Never heard of it, mate. Is that a coin, or is that like an AI trading platform? I don't know. How much longer do you think we'll be in a bear market? Singleton, I have no idea. My approach for those of you who are new to the channel is I'm just taking this by the day, and I'm making profits kind of trading the short-term swings. So I don't really care. Well, of course I do care, but it doesn't matter to me whether we go to 20,000 or we go to 1,000. Either way, if we're going down, I'm going to short it, I'm going to make profits. And if we go up, I'm going to make profits as it is, but I'm also going to make profits by going long and making more profits than the average trader. So either way, I'm trading on margin, and it doesn't matter whether it goes up or down. Volatility is what it's what margin traders thrive on. Jolly's World, I get that Gizmo might be spamming Ripple, but I don't want to ban him just for that. I think that would be a bit authoritarian. If you should put a short, would it be below 6,100? Dennis Frost, yeah, it would. I gave the signal that, I think it was last stream, that I would put a stop short, a stop limit short, or a stop market short at 6,100. So let's plot that line here. And what that would mean is when the price hits 6150, sorry, yeah, 6150, not 6100. When it hits this level, it's going to put in an order to short Bitcoin for me automatically. And so that's a strategy to ride it down, because guys, if we do go this low, there's a very good chance that we're not going to bounce back up, and we're just going to continue to go much lower. So 6150 for me is a good area to put in a stop market short or a stop limit short. But personally, like I said, I am not entering any trades. It's just not a good area to do that. I might consider adding in that stop short later, but as it stands, I am not open to that. But yeah, I mean, that's a signal I would give at a later date, you know, when we dump or whatever the case is. Do you think the rumors are true about Facebook buying Coinbase? No, I don't. I mean, it might be true that Facebook has tried to, but I don't think Coinbase will ever sell themselves to Facebook. That would be a very bad business decision. Christopher, there's no link to subscribe to the VIP. You go to the Telegram channel, which is the first link in the description, and at the bottom of gold posts, what you will see is @4flies, and if you click on that, you'll get straight to contact me. It'll put you straight to me, and we can talk about VIP there. You can always hit me up on Twitter as well. Link, everything's in the description. So, yep. Totally support your futures theory. Yeah, I mean, I just, you know, it makes sense to me. We consider, again, how we've reversed every single time following a futures date. And it just makes, you know, literally every time. Pause it here if you are skeptical or something like that. This chart is not loading for some reason, but every time we've had a futures date, we've had a reversal, and the same thing has applied right here. So we have had a reversal following SIBO closing, and that reversal has continued. It's been a continuation pattern with the CME opening. Thank you so much for subscribing, AK. Yeah, Tron. I don't mind Tron as much. I mean, it's funny and it's sad how it's gone down so much, but they are putting good use to the money that they've made and the money they've raised. So I am cautiously optimistic for it. I wouldn't put my money in it, but if you want to, I don't see a big problem with it. No, Martin, leverage on Bitfinex, right? I don't know. Yeah, I think Bitfinex goes up to 3 or something, so 2.5. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, I see Gizmo still shilling it. I don't know. I still don't want to ban him just for that. I'd feel bad about that. Are we overbought on the RSI? Nearly. Yeah, nearly. We are at a reading of 68, and 70 would be overbought for the RSI. It doesn't matter as much. Bitcoin hasn't been respecting it lately, so I shouldn't really be showing the RSI. It's just that, I don't know, I feel more comfortable when the RSI is on for whatever reason. And yeah, you know, this Elliott wave formation with the ABC correction, this is what I wanted to show you yesterday, but I didn't get a chance to. Again, you know, this plays out the same inverse head and shoulders that I mentioned, you know, that Kirby may have been talking about today. When you have an Elliott wave going down, followed by an ABC correction going up, what it does form is a inverse head and shoulders, which is a bullish pattern. I actually learned that from, I believe, Crypto Hedge in Netherlands. Pretty amazing guy. He has some solid TA on Twitter. This is something that we could see playing out, and it's actually something that a member showed me yesterday. So shout out to him again. I don't know if he wants me to share his name, so I'm not going to do that. A good entry point on Cardano, Redman, is when Bitcoin bottoms out. I know that's not the answer you wanted to hear. Okay, yeah, Gizmo isn't stopping, so I'll put you in a timeout. How about that? That's a nice middle ground. But guys, you know, with that, I'm going to be signing off here. I hope you have enjoyed the stream. I hope you have learned something. Again, really not much to talk about in this stream because we haven't really had much price action in the past 24 hours, but I did want to give you a quick update on what the market is looking like and sort of run down the case for the bulls and the bears and let you make your own decision on what might happen. Personally, for me, I'm not leaning anyway. I am neutral now, and really it's just a case of wait and see for me because I have no idea what's going to happen. Guys, with that, if you can smash those likes, if you can subscribe if you're not already subscribed, tick the bell, all that good stuff, and of course join the Telegram channel. We put out a lot of great free content in gold. I've been getting a lot of feedback of members in gold getting good profits, and you know, I always share the VIP profit numbers, but there are still people making very good profits in gold, and it's completely free, so definitely get in there. I think you guys will love it. Thanks, looking forward to tomorrow. Yeah, I will be, of course, streaming tomorrow. Daily live streams giving you guys market updates. I hope you guys do enjoy them as much as I enjoy commentating. Is that the right word? Over them? I do love getting in front of the mic. Some of you do know that I wanted to be a radio producer, or rather a radio DJ, when I was a young child. So I do take pride in audio. I do love jumping in front of this microphone and getting on stream for you guys. But yeah, guys, with that, I am going to be signing off. I hope you have had a wonderful day. And with that, I'm out. Peace.